Hi, John Toole here. Today is, well, this is the day that we've been working for all season long. This is the day where we're finally going to harvest our fruit. So that's a nice feeling. But before we do harvest, there's a couple of things that you have to make sure. If you're turning your own grapes into wine, make sure your equipment is clean and ready for you to bring the fruit in. And if you're selling your fruit, make sure that both parties of the deal understand that the fruit is coming in today, so nobody is surprised by a shipment of grapes coming on their doorstep and not knowing that they were supposed to be there that day. So be sure that everybody's aware that today is the day of harvest. And you can also check to confirm before you do harvest that your fruit is in the chemistry that you want it to be. So just the final bricks. We've been measuring this all season long for a couple of weeks. And right now we're looking at about 25 bricks on these grapes. So that's just beautiful. Yeah, so once we are all ready, it's time to harvest. So it's pretty straightforward. We generally like to use these pickers, and they are like sharp scissors, so people have to be aware that they can cut. So you got to be aware where you have to know where your fingers are all the time. I did get myself one time this year, so even I do it. But it's real simple. You just got to pick the clusters. They're going to be attached with these little stems or peduncles, and you give your fruit a little once over, checking to make sure there's no insects or damaged berries. You want very nice clean fruit going into your bucket. Like right here, we've got a couple of berries that are kind of damaged and discolored, so we would want to probably pick those out and make sure that they don't go in. Otherwise, they could make some bad flavors in our wine. But the rest of that looks really nice. Can you see this little multicolored Asian lady beetle? Those guys are no good in the wine, so be sure to get those out at all costs. Usually you can just snip them away. They may like to continue crawling in your box during the day, but you got to try your best to keep those guys out because they make a bad flavor and smell in the wine. Well, here we are with our grapes harvested. We got them in these little picking lugs, which are nice and flat and contain the grapes nicely so that they don't get squashed on top of their own weight. These lugs are nice because they max out at about 25 to 30 pounds, and you can stack other lugs on top of them as long as they're not too full. So this one right now is just a little bit too full. If you need to take a few of those clusters out and put them in a different lug, or put them into the corners a little bit, you want to be able to stack your next lug on top of there without crushing them down. While they're waiting to go toward the winery, you want to keep these guys in the shade nicely, or you can transfer them into a larger bin if you're going to be transporting down the road into what are called macro bins. They can hold up to 800 to 900 pounds of fruit generally. That's a convenient way to transport your product, but if you want to keep them in here too, that's okay. One thing I want to stress too before we get too far along is that we're measuring the fruit all along the season, checking its chemistry for sugar, acid, pH. Those are important factors in determining harvest, but ultimately they have to taste good too. If they don't taste really good, I don't think they're going to make great wine. So that's also the most important thing, is that they actually have the good flavors. So these definitely are great right now. So yeah, I guess from here on out, we're ready for the winery. So it's been a long season, and this is all the fruit of our labor. It's really nice to actually get it to come off of the vine and looking in such great condition. So good luck to you. Happy harvest.